Good morning, students. Today we'll work on a vocabulary skill related to the lesson, The Impact of Global Warming. By the end of the session, you will be able to guess the meanings of unfamiliar words using contextual clues and give an illustration, build a meaningful paragraph including vocabulary items by using contextual clues. Look at the pictures and answer the following questions. Who is this woman? And what is her job? This woman is a fortune teller. She predicts what is going to happen in the future. She can tell you about your fortune. What does she use to foresee and predict about future events? This fortune teller uses a crystal ball that enables her to see whether you will have good or bad luck in your future. Not only fortune tellers foresee and predict something that will take place. While reading a story or watching a film, for example, you can predict the coming events before they take place. Let's read the example given. An elderly woman in the tent looked into her crystal ball and told her customers that she could foresee trouble in their future. Foresee is a verb, and it means predict or see beforehand. Let's interpret the following picture. What do you see? We see a horrible car accident. What do you think led to such an accident? You're right. Breaking one of the driving rules, which is speeding up, led to such an accident. Can you imagine what happened to the driver? Do you think he could survive? To me, I think he faced an inevitable death and couldn't survive. Some drivers who speed up might encounter serious injuries which are also inevitable. They might have a physical handicap which might imprison them for the rest of their life. A sentence: due to speeding up beyond the speed limits, the driver faced inevitable death. He didn't survive. Inevitable is an adjective and it means impossible to avoid. What can you tell through this picture? Here, we can see a popular game that teens play without being monitored by their parents. Is the game safe, and why? The game is not safe at all, since it leads to harmful implications on the teen's life. They turn to be aggressive toward others, and this is due to the violence they practice while playing it. They also lag in doing their school chores, for they spend time playing such a game and they become addicted to it. Let's read the example. Using the internet to play violent games without the parent's supervision has negative implications on the child's life, such as becoming aggressive and having deteriorated school performance. Implications here is a noun, and it means consequences. Look at the pictures and try to illustrate them. Here, we can see people lining up in order to get water. And this is because water in their country is not abundant and available. As we know, people who live in an area where water is not abundant undergo harsh conditions in their life. Example: if pure water were not abundant in a great amount in some countries, people would undergo economic and health problems. Abundant is an adjective and it means of a great quantity. Read the following sentence and find contextual clues that help you figure out the meaning of the bold-faced words. If she accounts for such a horrible crime, she will spend 15 years in prison. In which clause do the words accounts for exist? And what do you infer? The words accounts for exist in the cause here. And the effect is she will spend 15 years in prison. So, we notice that accounts for means gives a reason, which is for the crime. That's why she will be punished by spending 15 years in prison. Accounts for is a phrasal verb, and it means gives a satisfactory reason. What kind of environmental problems does the following picture show? And what is the main cause here? This environmental problem is water pollution, and the main cause is the waste which endangers the marine life. What should the government do to tackle this problem? The government can apply feasible steps such as building factories and recycling garbage to tackle this critical problem. Example, the Lebanese government can apply feasible countermeasures to tackle the environmental issue, waste disposal. Feasible is an adjective and it means practical or applicable. Who do you think these mature persons are, and where are they? What do you think their target is? These mature persons are volunteers and they are in Africa. They seem to have a main target, which is educating African children who have the right to receive education, but they are unable to afford the fees and school accessories. So, there wouldn't be illiteracy. Example, the volunteers are on a campaign and they aim to achieve their target by introducing literacy programs for the underprivileged children in Africa. Target is a noun and it means a goal to be achieved. Read the sentence below and guess the meaning of the bold-faced word using contextual clues. World authorities can subsidize the humanitarian organizations by offering grants that enable the volunteers to sustain the victims of poverty, war, and natural disasters. As we know, the humanitarian organizations are members that care for the victims of disasters, and they are in need for the support of others to supply the basic needs of life. So, authorities can offer support to these organizations. They can subsidize them by offering grants. Subsidize here is a verb, and it means grant money for public. Let us interpret the picture below. What is the man doing and what is he using? The man is retrofitting the walls in his house using material that can replace a heating device. Why do you think some people apply this system? People apply the system in order to save energy, and this also plays a role in reducing air pollution. Example, the man is retrofitting the walls of the house by a weatherizing insulator. Retrofit is a verb. It means add a component or accessory to something that did not have it when it was manufactured, like a house. Let's find contextual clues that help us guess the meaning of the bold-faced word. I believe that schools should be judged according to strictly academic criteria. How can we judge a school whether it is successful or not? We can judge the progress of a school throughout principles or standards that are applied wisely. Hence, if these principles were strict, the school would achieve success. Criteria is a noun, and it means principles or standards by which something may be judged or decided. Here you have a paragraph that includes vocabulary items from the introduced words. Pause the video and read the paragraph carefully. Then you will notice how the vocabulary art items are used meaningfully with contextual clues. At the end, we have acquired the meanings and parts of speech of the following words. Implications is a noun and it means consequences. Retrofit is a verb and it means add a component or accessory for something that was built beforehand. Inevitable is an adjective and it means impossible to avoid. Target is a noun and it means a goal to be achieved. Subsidize is a verb and it means grant money for public. Criteria is a noun and it means standards or principles by which something can be judged. Foresee is a verb and it means predict or see beforehand. Feasible is an adjective and it means applicable or practical. Abundant is an adjective and it means of a great quantity. Account for is a phrasal verb and it means give a satisfactory reason for.